Dr. S.K. Kashyap, Mr. Bidu Bhushan Dash, uh, Mr. Deependra Baghel, and I see so many of known faces here, and all the esteemed participants. Greetings from Asia's first and India's largest media university and the beautiful lake city of Bhopal. Uh, it's really a delight to know about a new experiment that you are trying at Intel, a convergence of agriculture and IT. I think it's the need of the hour, and I'm glad that you have taken up this very important subject, on career in agriculture journalism. Vijayshri, I'm happy to share with you, all the participants, that recently from this academic session we have started a rural journalism postgraduate diploma program in rural journalism from our Rewa campus. Rewa is in the Baghelkhand region bordering Uttar Pradesh in Madhya Pradesh. A lot of rural pockets are there, and it's known for its white tiger. Rewa is known for its beautiful waterfalls, and Rewa as a huge, as I said, rural background also. Now we felt that that's the place from where we should start this program. We have certain universities where development communication is taught, mostly as part of the regular journalism programs. Except in Indian Institute of Mass Communication, where I was the Director General a few years back, where we had a postgraduate diploma program in development journalism for journalists, working journalists from developing countries. Interestingly, that was not for Indian journalists. Now, that is a little strange that today there is no institution as such which is offering any program in development communication, exclusively in development communication. It has been weaved into the general journalism and mass communication courses. I think the reason is primarily because there is a view that maybe if you are into only development journalism or rural journalism, you won't get jobs. And that is, I believe, that a total misunderstanding of the situation. You see, if today in this age of digital media, I think it would be very unfair on my part to talk only about journalism. I think I have this responsibility of preparing, grooming communicators. Today there is a great need for communicators, rural communicators. Now, as against rural journalists. Now, if you ask me, yes, in the conventional sense, even today, there may not be much job opportunities. If you look at the data pre-COVID, if you look at the data, you would find that, agriculture, coverage of agriculture, particularly in the English media, has always been in single digits. To some extent in the language media, which is the future of media as I see it, you see a better coverage, particularly in the district editions. You find a better coverage of the rural areas and the agriculture areas. But what has revolutionized the coverage are two things. One, technology. Technology, and particularly the internet, the advent of social media has brought about major changes, because today the smartphone has become the symbol of aspiration for the common man, even in the villages. And with products like Geo, flooding the market, internet accessibility is also, yes, the digital divide is there, but still internet access is increasing by the day. In the rural pockets, rural areas, people are able to pay. Their paying capacity has increased over the years. And there is a young brand of, breed of communicators who have started YouTube channels, who have started digital platforms to reach out to the common man, to become a voice of the voiceless. I'll give you two examples because the time limit is there. One is Gaon Connection, started by my friend Nilesh Mishra. He was a Reuters journalist. He started this Gaon Connection, which is about, with representatives in every village who are reporting, and today it is one of the largest rural newspapers. The second is, of course, I am not going to discuss PARI, which is, P. Sainath's initiatives. But I am just talking about the other one is in Bundelkhand region, which is, encompassing areas of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. You have Khabar Lahariya, where women who are not trained journalists, but they have been trained to report on issues pertaining to them, local issues. The third development I see is the growing popularity of community radios. Whether it is in the Mewat region, Telangana, you find growing number of community radios. The Union Information and Broadcasting Ministry has also made it now a single window and relaxed norms for setting up community radio stations. When I was the Director General at IMC, we had set up the Community Radio Empowerment and Resource Center, and INB Ministry recently gave that center about 10 crores. So, for expanding the network of community radio stations. So, you find that there is an increasing demand for rural communicators. Government, central government, state government, NGOs, and even the corporate sector, with the advent of CSR in a big way, they are now want to reach out to the rural pockets. They want to, of course, there may be target audiences, they may be looking at marketing targets, but whatever it is, people are looking at communicators, and there is an increasing demand for people who understand the rural areas, people who understand agriculture. Generally, most of the students in many of the colleges that we have, we have an urban centric approach. They do not know the difference between a rabi and a kharif crop, so they need to be. So I was reading some literature, and I found to my dismay that people had, in a leading website, they had mentioned that you need a degree in agriculture to become an agricultural journalist. So that means anybody wanting to cover health journalism would necessarily should be a doctor, an MBBS doctor or an MD. Now, this is, I appreciate that, yes, we should, because I myself was closely involved with TERI, and I had trained scientists to write in the common man's language so that we are able to take scientific writing to the masses. But science journalism has to be done by journalists. They can come from a science background, but they can always be trained. A defense correspondents are not necessarily, army majors or army lieutenant colonels who become defense correspondents. So I think that we need to have programs which are orientation programs, refresher programs, to train people who are inclined towards rural areas. And that is an interest that we will have to, because slowly there is a growing and expanding need for rural communicators and people who can reach out because from whatever studies we have done at our university, so many PhD scholars have been doing, we have found in different even research studies that more and more farmers are using social media, are using digital technology to to understand the latest so far as markets are concerned. You have the e-mandis in north, so they want to access the best of markets, they want to access the best of seeds, they want to accept the best of varieties available. So but how do we effectively reach them? That is a big challenge and an opportunity. and I see that this is an opportunity that is waiting, and I'm glad that the first batch of rural journalism students of our Riva campus have also joined this program to listen to all the eminent panelists, so that they know that how important a field they have chosen, because we have made different aspects of agriculture as part of this course.
Yeah, sir. Yes. Yeah, correct. Thank you so much, Professor KG Suresh, for setting the tone. And what exactly I have, after listening to you, I'm just curious that to understand that what exactly that we can include in the training for the young grad and make them industry ready. Yeah. So this is something which I am curious, because this is where again
are you looking at a young grad, means are you looking at agricultural grads or general grads?
Even the general, means I can say for the journalism as well as for the agriculture.
Absolutely. You know they need to have, it's like any other course. If I'm doing a film appreciation course, I need to understand films, So if you're doing an agriculture journalism course, you need to go out in the fields, you need to understand not just the crops, the patterns, the climates, the soil, but also you need to understand the markets. You need the economy of the agriculture is something that you need to understand, and also there is a culture associated with agriculture, which is very important to understand. You saw during this entire agrarian agitation and all that, you saw a very superficial kind of reporting, and that is because it was, journalists from urban centers who were looking at the, agricultural scenario. That is one thing that gave a lot of momentum. This agitation, then the farm laws, then the subsequent withdrawal, all this led to a lot of interest in agriculture and farms as such, and it generated a lot of coverage. And then, as I said, the COVID situation also led even the city-based reporters to look at what is happening at the grassroots level, at the ground level. That is important.
Okay, yeah. So, yes, thank you so much for the response, Professor KG Suresh. So, definitely, so this is something which we have been trying to say as well. Like, we are trying to bridge the gap between the industry and academia by bringing similar kind of training, and I think we are on the same page that we want training to be very, very industry oriented, and also to understand how things are running in the market as well. Because unless and until you prepare yourself to the market, you are not career oriented, or you cannot get a career into it, right? So this is something which we have been doing, and thank you, Professor KG Suresh, for your initial remark and the response which we get, and we are definitely going ahead with the same kind of training in where we can think of collaborating with REBA campus for having this agricultural extension program as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thank you, sir. I now invite